Also, I hope it's okay. I'm recording this call. Is that all right? I've just started to record it because I think I can't do lives at the moment, but I think it's important that people hear this discussion. Is that all right with you?
Oh, yeah.
Are you all right with that, guys? I've just pressed record because we're covering the funny, strange behavior of people asking for identity. And people might think I'm overreacting, but I run God FM as a limited company. And as a director, I have a duty of care to protect anybody who interacts with my company or me and their data. And if people who are joining my groups are asking people to join other groups and provide fingerprints and passport photographs and signature areas of the passport, as well as fingerprints in red and signatures with blue ink and their hand writing it, and these sort of things, then this is a serious crime, because people will chop off fingers in China for your right finger, for your thumb, because they can steal your identity. We're about to go into digital ID, and so with that information, they could simply just take over all of your identity and you'll never be able to get it back, ever. And I mean, I really like Raf. You guys like Raf. I really like Raf. But, you know, this, it doesn't really matter who they think they are, right? Asking for this kind of information from people and also being cagey about me knowing about it. And, there was a conversation that took place with several people now where they didn't want me to know about this group and they didn't want me to know that they were asking for this information. So, from my point of view, this is, why would they not want me to know? And so, I've been saying that this is serious because someone can go out and commit all sorts of crimes in your name with this information. Okay. And, they could literally go and kill people. They could steal people. They could commit crimes, very big crimes. They could start an ISIS group. They could start as a opposition group against the government, and then your name is going to be like, you will be really hunted. Do you understand? But also with where we're going with all this stuff, when they want to do the digital ID, they won't need your consent because you've provided a copy of your passport and your fingerprint. Somebody else will be able to create your digital ID for you.
Yeah, the thing is, the thing is too, it's not just China. It's happening in every country. That's the first thing. And second of all, like what Ayesha was saying, once they have that, you got to understand in some other countries, the digital ID has already started. So like she's saying, if they already got your stuff, you don't even have to give them consent because they already have your stuff. So it's basically like giving them consent without actually doing it. And once they got your stuff, there's so many different things that they can do with it. So this is why it was important. And that's why I kept trying to reach out to you too, because I didn't know if you ended up giving them your stuff or whatever the case may be. And I was trying to make sure that you didn't.
Well,
because, like I said, even though they helped us, and even though they uncovered a big part of this, of what's going on with all of us, I feel like, in my opinion, there's an ulterior motive behind it, and because they're trying to do like some kind of like identity theft ring, and they agreed to help us, and they uncovered a lot of important shit, which is good, because now we know how they're doing this to all of us, affecting us with the technology and hurting us and tormenting us and all that. We know now how they're actually doing it, which is good for us. But when they did that for us, they did that kind of like as a distraction, and also to try to make us like trust them so that they could really get in and do what they're really trying to do. So it's like you gotta like try to see it from the outside looking in, like what's really going on, because yes, they're helping us, but in turn, it's like they're trying to fucking screw us at the same time, because it's like what I was saying, it's like an identity theft ring. They're trying to get all of our like real personal information, because once they have that, they can do whatever they want with it. Like Shandy, like if they get your information, like if they get your driver's license or something like that, they can go and like, you know, and rent out a house in your name, or try to buy a house in your name. They can go and try to get like a car in your name. You know, or any of the stuff that Ayesha was saying. It's like, this is important shit. Like, they could literally steal your whole entire fucking identity and you wouldn't even know. Like, and then it's like in all these other, and then where they're at, they can be doing all this stuff with your name, and then you might not even know about it. And then if they get busted or if something happens, you're gonna get in deep shit too, just because it's like you're gonna have ties to it. So that's like what Ayesha's trying to say. Me and her were talking about it just the other night, and it's like, this is like serious shit. This is a fucking dangerous thing that they're doing.
As far as I'm concerned as well, like, even if Ruff is innocent, right, and he thinks he's helping this guy die in Dyer, the fact that all of us are targeted individuals, all of our phones are fucking hacked, by putting this information on our devices is putting us at risk. Even if somebody is trying to help us, we're sending data, like really highly sensitive data like that, on our phones to people. No way. No way. I mean, you normally you would be asked for this kind of information to rent a house, to buy a car. But also, as I say, there is an inheritance from God, which is a colossal amount of money, more money than Solomon's money. All right? I've seen it. All right? That we are to claim as the children of God. Now, if these guys get hold of all your ID, they're going to lock you into this digital system, potentially. But I mean, like the way I was thinking about it, Ruff, he seems a nice guy, but, you know, my thinking is, why is he contacting people in my group? Why is he friends with a guy called Dan Dyer that's warning everyone not to deal with Ayesha from God FM because she can't be trusted, when he knows that's not the case? You know what I'm saying? And if someone was to say stuff about you, all right, Tyler or Shandy, I wouldn't start going in their group, right, and find all their members and then join them to a group where the kingpin of the damn group is against one of you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what she's saying is, the only reason why they were trying to like exclude her from the group is because they know what they're trying to do with us, and they know that she would have questioned them on it. So they were trying to keep her out of the loop and keep her out of the group because of the fact that they knew that if she was in there, she would have said something right off the bat. Whereas us, you know, we were thinking whatever and like questioning it, but we really didn't say nothing. You know, we just didn't give them our information. But she would have said something. She would have questioned them on it. And also, tell Shandy about what we were talking about last night when your account got banned.
Yeah, my account on Monday got banned after I'd posted the images on my phone, you know, of the child eaters, right? And I then advertised I was going to do a live show about it, and then I did this live show and I got banned. And now it's all connected. Yeah, because you could have heard a pin drop when I put all these posts on, right? You could have heard a pin drop. It was so funny. I mean, these are dangerous people. The gang stalkers are traffickers of people. Now, if you're trafficking a person, do you know what the first thing they do is they take that person's identity? Right? So, yeah. These guys, the gang stalkers, have been getting our data from our phones, right? And getting all our data from our emails. And they've taken over our telephone numbers. They've taken over and cloned our phones. They've got spoofing Wi-Fi's and spoofing networks. They've also got torture devices, and they've come into our home daily. And then they've befriended us through the groups as well. And they've infiltrated all of the organizations, as far as I can see, that are here to help us. Like, there's a company called CCAN that this John guy that died was part of, and Mark Steele and Dan Dyer and Ruff were part of their meetings and whatever. But you see, the association doesn't mean that we can trust everybody who had a meeting with CCAN.
Yep, exactly.
Or Mark Steele. Just because somebody says, oh, I'm working with Mark Steele, doesn't mean you can trust them. Doesn't mean they're really working with Mark Steele, because we've got some real crooks going on here, guys. Right? And Dan Dyer, I don't trust him because he's going around telling lies about me. He's still working with the Gary Waterman, and people who are in touch with Gary Waterman, anyone who can help him, yeah, he's exposing the fraud ex-police officer for the UK. Yeah, Shandy, in case you don't know who he is. And I helped him, and then he made up lies about me. Now, and he made up lies about lots of people. And so this guy is a dangerous man as well. And he's living in a tent, right? And he's going to save humanity. Are you joking? It's laughable, isn't it? Hey?
I don't even know half of these people.
I mean, also, like I say, Dan Dyer, he's friends with, you know, this Gary Waterman, and is into drugs and all this other stuff. You know, I mean, and he's saying stuff about me. And then we've got people like Ruff, who I've known for a year and really liked him and trusted him. And now Ruff's working with Dan Dyer and asking for all this information. I'm like, do you think I did the wrong thing? Because I think I did the right thing. I had to do that, to cut any ties, block these people, because I cannot give them access to any of the groups for God FM. And I'm going to rethink the God FM groups and everything now. Because it's if people are going to these lengths to get your data, right? You've got to ask questions, haven't you, eh?
Yep, because there's no reason for it. It's one thing if they're helping us. It's a whole other thing when they're asking for personal information like that. That's identity theft.
Yeah, and it's a crime. Even in the current system, it's a crime.
And when we're already targeted enough, we're already getting tortured enough. We don't need to deal with no more bullshit going on.
Yeah.
This is why I stay away from it all. I just stays out of it because I'm going through enough in my own life that I just don't need any more extra bullshit. I've been torturing the shit out of me that much.
Also,
I mean, I've been sick ever since last night.
My thinking is this, right? Ruff did actually do a reply on the WhatsApp saying, oh, you know, we're actually trying to help everyone, and we were working with CCAN and they killed him and all this. And I just replied, well, actually, because you've asked for private information of all the group members in a private group and excluded me from all these activities, I don't trust you, and I don't want anything to do with it anymore. You know, because it's getting real dangerous. I've got a horrible feeling. And when I get a horrible feeling, it's usually right. You know, when Tyler was telling me, I said to Tyler, oh, I don't like the sound of that. Oh, God. And Tyler said, no, I don't like it either, now that you're saying that. Is that right, Tyler? You've got a horrible feeling as well.
Yeah, because like I said, when they were saying that to me and Shandy, we like they said it to us. We really didn't say nothing to them. And then I asked them to go into detail and just explain what they were doing as far as like their work and everything like that, but they wouldn't explain it. And then and I thought that was weird, because if this was an actual job and it was real and it was something that, you know, if they really had this authority where they could make this happen, they would be able to fully explain it in detail what they were doing. They didn't explain nothing. All they said was what they said to us, and that was it. And I asked them repetitively over and over again to explain, like, what exactly, like, what they were allowed to do, how they were, you know, how they could do it, what they could do for us. And they didn't go into no detail on none of that. They didn't say absolutely anything, and then they just switched to a different conversation and started talking about like the energy weapons and stuff like that. When I repetitively asked them over and over again, like to explain,
Just
and
also,
then they just kept telling us, like, oh no, don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all going to be over with soon. I wouldn't worry that much.
just to confirm, if this does go to the police as a fraud investigation, are you happy for this video, this audio, to be used as evidence to prosecute?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Is that all right with you, Shandy?
Well, like I said, I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know what to say on any of it, because like I said, I don't want to be caught in the middle of anything. Like I said, I'm going through enough now in my own life. Like, I'm trying to avoid any situation possible. When all that shit was going on, I took myself at the situation, because I was just like, no, there's something not right with that. I'm not doing that, and just left it at that. Just stayed away from it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's kind of what I've done as well.
You know, the best thing to do is just you know, everybody has to use their own discernment now in life going through this, and you're targeted and stuff. And when you feel like something's not right and something's not adding up properly, then you know you have to use your own. What's that?
Yeah, I'm like, this is what I was trying to do. I'm trying to get in touch with you. I was talking to Ayesha last night. I'm getting tortured all fucking night. They're doing the same shit in my head all night. And the new thing that they've been doing, like the past 3 or 4 days, is they've been going from my private area nonstop, like twisting my nuts back and forth, doing stuff like that. So you could just imagine how I'm feeling right now. I'm like ready to fucking snap. Like, dude, seriously. And they didn't just do it like once or twice. It's like nonstop. And I'm like at my fucking wit's end with these people.
I'm so sorry.
They let me sleep for a couple hours there last night, and then I was up all the rest of the night, man, back and forth to the washroom. They've been hitting me in the stomach ever since last night, and all day are like back and forth to the washroom. Like, don't know what to do, crazy in pain in my stomach.
They going for your private area too and messing with that too?
No, they're just making me go to the washroom. I think they're trying to, like, you know, make you do you know what in your clothes, because it's just like hard pains in your guts, and you're just going back and forth to the washroom. Somebody was mentioning on the live there earlier, it's a part of their humiliation ritual.
Yeah, they don't do that with me now. But when I first moved to the new house in June, they were doing that. They did that to me a couple times, where like the one day I was bringing my son to the bus stop, and they almost made me like shit my clothes at the bus stop. And I had to actually tell him, I had to actually tell my son, like, or just, you got to get out and just stand and wait for the bus. I can't wait here with you because I got to get back to the house. They've done that to me a million times already. But now...
Yeah, Oda, guys, I'll call you right back in a quick second. One of my kids just woke up.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright, hold on, bud. Mom's coming.
Oh, shame. So, Tyler, you were saying about the court martials and stuff. Can you repeat that, what you said about that?
Yeah, he was saying that Dan was saying that he had court martial status, and that he had authority over that he had authority where he's working with international law, and he could issue international indictments, and saying that him and Ruff both get paid $16,000 a month for it, and that whether you live where they're from in the UK, or if you live out of the States, if you live in the States, like in the US or whatever, that they would make up to $16,000 a month, and that anyone that they hired that would work for them could make up to around $8,000 a month. And this is all they said. And then after saying that, didn't explain exactly what they were doing for their jobs, and they didn't explain what they were doing for their jobs, and they didn't really explain the process of everything and exactly what the job entailed and what we could actually do and what we had power to do. And I asked them repetitively to explain it over and over again, and they wouldn't explain it.
Okay.
And then asked for a passport, driver's license, asking for fingerprints, like all that stuff. So.
And you were saying that you checked it out and you don't need a fingerprint or a passport and all this nonsense to become a court martial.
Yeah, you don't actually need it, because when you have court martial status, that it basically means that you work for the government, and you have the authority to issue an indictment on pretty much anyone else that works for the government. So, like, say if there was somebody that worked for the military that was committing a felony or a high crime or something like that, you could actually take them to court and indict them. You could do it to regular law enforcement. You could do it to just an average person. It kind of gives you the power and the authority to be able to do that. So basically, he was telling us that he had the authority to do this, and said that him and Ruff were starting like their own company where they could employ us and we could work with them, and that they make up to like $16,000 a month, and that we could get paid up to like $8,000 a month by working with them and like working under them, and that we would also have the power to do pretty much the same thing that they could.
Okay. And you did ask for a bit more information, didn't you, to verify this, and they couldn't provide it, could they?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I asked him repetitively over and over again to fully go into detail and explain like the job and what it entails, what we actually have the power to do, how that works with the court system. I mean, everything. And they had no explanations for nothing. They would just move on to a different topic and talk about something else. And the conversation really just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. So basically what we're able to establish is that they don't really work for the government. Because if they did, they would have provided some documentation from the government, wouldn't they?
That's what I was expecting, because I figured, all right, if this is a legitimate job, they would be able to provide that. Where they could give you some paperwork to sign, where you could actually read it. They would be able to fully go in detail, like how that would work, as far as like if you filed a lawsuit or you tried to indict someone, how it would work through the court system, all that kind of stuff. They would be able to fully explain that detail, and they didn't. And every time I kept asking them, they wouldn't even answer me. And then they would just move on to like a different topic and talk about something else.
The other thing is, did they provide you with a website or a landline telephone number or an organization that they're associated with, regulated by, or affiliated with in any shape or form?
Nope.
No, okay.
They didn't provide me with no landline for anything, no kind of organization or any kind of office that you could call or any of that. They didn't provide none of that.
And what names did they mention that they were working with? What were the names of the people again?
They didn't say anything. All Dan and Ruff said that it was something that they were doing, and that if they employed us, then we would be working for them. And they didn't say any kind of organization that they work for. They didn't say anybody's names that they were working with or anything like that. Okay,
and but they did mention some people's names in maybe a slightly different capacity, and those names were, but I might be wrong and missing some names. Mark Steele and Gary Waterman. Can you remind me what the conversations were about those people, please?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot. Yeah, they did mention them.
Okay.
Yeah. So it basically, so it was rough, because I'm just trying to remember from what they sent in the chat to me. So it was Dan and Ruff. They said that they were working with Gary Waterman and Mark Steele, and they said that if Gary and Ruff, Dan and Ruff said that if they employed us, we would be working for them while they work with Mark Steele and Gary Waterman. So yeah, that's true.
Oh, right. Okay. And they also said something about me with regard to Gary Waterman, didn't they?
Yeah, they were asking why you had a falling out with him and how come you weren't. They wanted to know why nobody's heard from you and why you haven't been in touch with him. And they were kind of like making like a joke about it, like, oh, you know, I get there's just drama going on with those two.
Those two? Who's those two?
At the same time, we know that Gary Waterman is a Mason, and we know that he's into a lot of illegal stuff. So, yeah, I mean, obviously that's why you wouldn't be associating with him. And I don't either, because I don't know personally who Mark Steele is or Gary Waterman. I know of them, but I don't have any kind of ties to them. I don't talk to them on a regular basis. I don't do any kind of business with them. I have no connection with those guys whatsoever. So.
Okay. Did they also say that you just said that they had a little joke about it? What do you mean they were joking about it?
They were saying, like, basically saying that, like, that whatever's going on between you and Gary Waterman is just like, it's just like a bunch of like drama and it's not really important, and that they don't understand why they don't understand why you don't have really any like communication with him and, you know, things like that.
Right. Okay. And that was spoken by Dan or Ruff?
That was said by, it was Dan that said it, and then Ruff pretty much like, he just like confirmed it and was like, yeah, I don't understand it either. And that's like how the conversation went.
Oh, okay. All right. Very interesting. And what did they say about Mark Steele? That he would be working with Gary Waterman?
They didn't really go into detail about it, but they were just saying, like, they didn't really go into detail about it. They were just saying, wait, give me just a sec, because, let me see. It's getting that far. See, what's funny now is Ruff, I guess Ruff, somebody, I think somebody is talking about you, because they said, somebody said something, and Ruff messaged, and he said, yeah, I listened to it. I told her to concentrate on the real enemy rather than us.
Oh, right.
He just said that now. So.
Oh, okay, on their group chat.
Yeah, or it was like a message.
Okay.
Yeah, he said, he just sent this to me. So, but yeah, when they were talking about them, they weren't talking about anything that like they were trying to do or anything that they had planned. All they said was that they were just saying like, oh, well, we don't know why there's so much drama going on and why she's not communicating with us and this and that. But and all they said was that they were working with Mark and Gary Waterman, but didn't say exactly what they were working on or what they were doing. So they're very like discreet with this. It's like very weird, because they're asking us to work with them. They're offering people jobs, but then they're not actually telling us what the jobs entail as far as what you can do. And on top of that, they're not fully explaining what the work is. Like, they're just saying like, oh yeah, we want you guys to work for us, and that's about it, and we'll pay you. But not telling us what we're going to be doing for the work, or what the work is actually going to do. What's the purpose of it?
But also we've got to look at, if someone's going to employ you, in what capacity are they going to employ you? What capacity are they going to employ you as an employer? And in what capacity does that endorsement have, is it valid at all? It probably isn't, because, I mean, Dave from next door can't hire you warrant officers or court marshals to enforce the law of any land because he's not recognized as a ruler.
Right, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. There's no way for them to be able to do that because they don't actually have the authority to do it.
No.
But this is what they're telling people, and they're trying to tell people that they can hire them and give them pretty much the same authority to be able to do something like that. But that's not true.
Well, if it was true, they'd have a letter from the King of England or from the government saying, you know, we hereby hire you and appoint you as head of diddly-dum such and such military division of, you know, fraud or whatever, yeah?
Yep.
But there isn't any of that, is there?
Nope.
No. Okay. So, like I've said before, Gary Waterman is living in a tent. So I don't really take him seriously at all either. What I do think is that he's a mason, and he's a master mason, and he wears a master mason ring, and you only get a master mason ring if you bath in children's blood. So you don't get a ring normally unless you're really important, like a world leader. That's what I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm. So
it's not you don't get something like that and get a reward unless you're fully tied into the whole ring of it.
Exactly. But also, wasn't there a discussion that you had with someone called Nelson? Was Nelson had been blocked from the group or something? Oh, that was Shandy who told me about that. She's not here now.
Yeah, Dan said that he had removed Nelson from speaking to him because I'm not a part of their group. I don't like Gary was telling me that he was going to start a group, but they didn't add me to it or nothing like that yet. So I know that they have a group going, but I'm not in it. And Dan was saying that he had removed, because Nelson was private messaging me. I don't know if Nelson is a victim or what's going on, because Nelson was sending me videos of him being gang stalked. He was sending proof and evidence of him being hit with direct energy weapons, and sending me like some links of like things to look out for as far as the weapons and things like that. But that's what Nelson was doing. And then Dan was saying that he's completely cutting off association with Nelson because Nelson was expediting information out of their group or something like that to other people. So they stopped having communication with him.
Right, and that would have been to me probably.
Could be, yeah.
Because Nelson also told me that they had asked for his passport and all sorts of information.
Yep.
How interesting. So, what do you think of Ruff now? Because you spoke to him on his he was on my live show, wasn't he?
Who?
Ruff.
Ruff was on the live show, yeah. So what do you
think of him now? What do you think of him now, Ruff Love?
Honestly, I think, in my personal opinion, I think that him and Dan and Ruff both, are involved in some kind of identity theft ring. And I feel like they're trying to lure everyone in by helping them expose things that are going on. And it's really just a cover up for what they're actually doing. And on top of that, it's like if they're telling you things and then you tell other people what they're saying, then they're completely cutting off communication with you, and they don't want you to speak to other people about what they're saying to you and what's going on.
Right. That kind of is a bit like someone from Nigeria, isn't it? When they contact you and want you to send them money, but they say, don't tell anyone that you're sending me money because they won't be happy. It's the same sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost like it's some kind of scam or something.
I think so. And you haven't heard from them today, you said? Oh, you've got this.
Everything's been very quiet, and I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a message on their group chat, which I think there is a group chat that you're part of on there, but I don't think you understand WhatsApp very well, because that message would have been sent to a group that they've said, yeah, I've told her to concentrate on the real enemy. But the thing is, right, all it takes is one person to spearhead this thing to get everyone's data, and then by telling everyone else, oh no, it's actually to appoint court marshals. All it takes is for the one spearhead to convince all the others that this is what they're really doing, and we're looking at a major crime ring, and they don't even realize what they're doing because of the spearhead who's convinced them that he's actually there to help them. That's what I'm saying.
Yep, because I feel like the same thing is going on, and I don't want to be a part of that.
Same.
I don't want no part in it, and this is exactly why I didn't give them none of my information either, because I'm definitely not okay with that, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah, and I mean, you know that I don't work with Ruff, don't you?
Yeah, I know you did, but yeah, I know like what's going on and everything else. Yep.
Yeah, but if you got caught up in this mess, you would have probably looked at me as a participant in it, wouldn't you? Am I right?
Yeah, because I think that's what it comes down to also, because it's like if you have, this is why it's dangerous for everyone, because if this is what they're doing, anyone that they're associating with, whether they know it or not, is being brought into whatever they're doing, and it doesn't make it good for anybody involved that has an association or has some kind of communication with them, because, you know, whether we're aware of it or not, whatever they're doing, it's like just like we were saying, like how we've all been on lives on TikTok and stuff with him, and we've all had some communication with him, but we didn't have, none of us had a clue that they were doing this or what was going on in the background. So I feel like they're doing this purposely, so that not only they can try and steal people's information, but also if they were to get busted, they could just try to frame other people and say it was someone else that did it instead of them. I feel like that's what's going on.
Yeah, but also their behavior is, it's like they're just not aware. Like the way I think is that there's a spearhead and the rest don't really know what is going on, and they're just going along with it, thinking that the person is going to help them and they're really going to save the world. But they're not really going to save the world. They're just actually enslaving everyone even more by taking their identity.
Yep, I agree on that one.
So basically what we've got is we've got a whole group of people who are convinced that they're actually going to be court marshals for Dan Dyer and for Ruff.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, this is true.
And they're sending over their private information over to them.
Yep.
And they're telling everyone not to tell anyone about it. Certainly don't tell Ayesha at God FM about it.
Yep, which also makes sense, because if this is something that they were really trying to do, and it's a legitimate business, you would want to employ as many people as you can to work for you. So that doesn't make sense either. Of when they're onto something so big like that, and it's supposed to be something that can help all the people that are being targeted. You wouldn't want to hide that from anybody. You would want to get the information out and share it with as many people as you can, so that you can get more people to work for you. So that's another part of it that doesn't make any sense either.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, it's actually really clever. Because it's a masquerading that we're going to help you. We're going to expose all the stuff that they're using, the techniques, the technology, the equipment for hacking the targeted individual community. And then we'll get even further data from the targeted individual community by pretending that we'll make them court-martials and get their photographed passports and fingerprints and goodness knows what else.
Yep.
Dangerous.
It really is dangerous. And not for nothing, when we're all being mentally tormented and physically tortured every day, we don't need all this extra shit to add on top of it. It's like, we're already isolated from everybody. We're already being all accused of things we didn't do. We're being tortured every day. We got all of our devices and all of our stuff hacked. A lot of us don't have any money, and it's hard for us to get an income and everything else. We got to deal with the gang stalking stuff and being followed around and everything. The energy weapons, everything. Everything we're dealing with is just enough on its own already. We don't need all this extra stuff and then have these guys bring us into an identity theft fucking crime ring that we don't want nothing to do with, and we're not part of it.
Absolutely horrendous.
And I feel like that is exactly what's going on. And they just have a lot of people convinced.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because nobody's contacted me to say, hey, can I get your advice? What do you think? Why aren't you part of it? And obviously you and Shandy had been asking those questions, hadn't you? Like, why isn't Ayesha on this group? Why is Ayesha not included in any of this very secretive operation here?
Yep, and when it's asked, we do, don't get no response, no explanation, nothing. But yet at the same time, they're asking questions about you and asking why you're not communicating with people, why you're not doing this and why you're not doing that, and why they haven't heard from you. But yet at the same time, they're saying that they haven't heard from you, but they're not even trying to reach out with you to communicate and get in touch with you.
Yeah, but were you getting the impression that I was part of it, or had I been excluded? What was your impression?
Say that again?
Did you get the impression I was part of it, or that I was excluded from it?
That you were definitely excluded from it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I feel like the same way you do, that the only reason why they weren't telling you about it is because they knew that you would put them on the spot right away and you would question it. Whereas everyone else, they got everybody so convinced and everybody is so confused on everything that nobody is really questioning it or saying anything.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if anyone who's passed their identity over will end up in fucking jail soon. Because these guys will use their identity to commit all sorts of crimes.
Yep, I feel the same way. I mean, I don't know for sure if anybody did. And that's why I was really trying to reach out to Shandy, just like you were, to make sure that she didn't. Because, I mean, now that's good. I'm glad to know that she didn't. I know for a fact that I didn't. But I'm not sure if anyone else did. So.
Yeah. Well, if they were genuine, then they would provide the proof that this is a genuine organization operating to try and stop crime and gang stalking and all the other things. Right?
Yep.
But they haven't done that. But also, let's just ask some questions now. You spoke to Dan Dyer.
Say that again?
When you spoke with Dan Dyer, what did you think of Dan Dyer? Did you think he was credible? Did he sound like a trustworthy man on the phone? Or did he sound dodgy to you?
He kind of sounded like he had something to hide, because I mean, I didn't speak with him on the phone like how I'm speaking to you. He was just messaging me on the WhatsApp, but you know, through his phone and everything. But he, like I said, when he started telling me this, I started questioning it the second that he said this to me, because you know, I didn't know for sure at first if what he was saying was true. But that's why I started asking him all these different questions and everything, and asking him to fully explain what was going on and all that, and just didn't hear anything. So.
Okay. But also, you never spoke with Gary Waterman, did you?
Say that again?
You never spoke with Gary Waterman.
Did I communicate with him, you're saying?
Yeah, Gary Waterman.
No, not once.
Okay, or Mark Steele.
Yeah, or Mark Steele, but they were saying that they do, and that they still have connections. They have connections to them. That Dan and Ruff said that they work with Mark Steele and Gary.
Oh, okay. So, that's interesting, it is. Wow. Okay, well, I mean, it's interesting, it is. Very interesting. So, I mean, there could be some people trying to save the world, but it doesn't fill me with confidence. And I certainly I wouldn't imagine you'd have to pass your driving license, passport, or any of your identity over unless you had a contract and you had official documents first, anyway.
Exactly.
So I think you had a close encounter of a criminal kind, and I think you escaped by the skin of your teeth, dear. Because there was a point where you were actually seriously thinking about providing that information, weren't you?
Yep.
And what do you think you would have done if you'd passed your information over, and then in 6 months you had the police turning up to arrest you for crimes you hadn't committed?
Exactly. You are correct on that one.
How would you have felt if that had happened?
Horrible. Especially because I wouldn't have even known like what was going on or what was being done, you know, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I think they might be realizing now that they're starting to get caught for whatever it is that they're doing that's going on.
Well, if you say, you know, just now they were saying, oh, they told her, which must be me, to concentrate on the real enemy.
Yeah.
That means that they're still convinced that they're actually helping humanity by getting identity documents and all becoming court-martials, which is all a farce, because I reckon the kingpin of the organization is actually going to steal all your data.
Yep.
And we've got Gary who's targeted as well. And he spoke with you, yeah?
I targeted Gary, yeah.
Yeah. And he seemed all right.
Yeah, he's targeted, and he said he was going to try to start a group on WhatsApp, but I don't know. It's like, because I have like so many. I don't know if they did add me into the group or not, because I have so many on here, because I have like the individual messages, then I have the groups that you sent me. So I have to go through it. I don't know if they added me to it or not. because I just realized that too, figuring out how this app works, that someone can add you to a group and you won't even know that they did. You'll just be placed in it.
Yeah.
So, but what Gary was telling me is he was going to start an actual group chat, and I've only had like maybe a couple of conversations with Gary where I was just telling him, like, you know, I believe what you're saying, and I hope that you get justice in your situation and things like that. And he said the same thing to me, and that's pretty much all me and him talked about, and all I heard from him, and all I said to him.
I hope he doesn't get caught up in this, because he's a nice guy as well.
Yeah, and I haven't actually talked to him till about I think the last time I talked to Gary was Wednesday.
Okay.
And he said everything's good. I haven't been on much, to be honest, other than the last 20 minutes. Other than the past 20 minutes. Are you okay, bro? I've been attempting to get everyone on a group call at least, or something like that, but no one bothers. So, and that's all he said to me.
Yeah. Well, he left our group a while back now. So, but there's also, I found there's quite a lot of these guys that don't believe in God, do they? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, some said that they do, but then, you know, they never really want to talk about it, and they don't, you know, they don't ever tell me how, like, they pray or anything like that. Like, I do prayers every day. I believe in God, and I don't.
Yeah. Well, let's just hope that nothing bad happens for these guys, hey? And I hope, for everyone's sake, that I've overreacted. But I don't think I have. I think I've behaved in the right way. I've got to protect God FM and associations and data and all of that. And certainly by having the God FM group with anyone who was part of that, they were just contacting everybody on God FM to join this group. So, I'd rather...
Yeah, that is basically what happened.
Yeah. And we got Nelson as well. Nelson is so desperate to try and get this to stop. But the other thing is, all of these videos and images and links often have tracking and software and things, instructions embedded into the code of the images, which is virus type software. So my recommendation is you must not open any images and links and videos, because once they get into your phone, you can't get them out.
Yeah, whenever they would send me stuff, I wouldn't actually open it. I would just glance at it as it being just like a post, and then I wouldn't open it. I would just, you know, and that's all I would do. So I'm glad that I didn't do that either.
Yeah, you can always screenshot it and then delete it.
Yeah.
That's what I would recommend. Okay. So, I've kept this, I've recorded this just so that we've got this covered. So that if there's anybody who, you know, is thinking about joining this group and sending their private information, then they can have a listen to this, and it can be used as evidence for the police if the police decide to take matters further as well.
Absolutely.
I think, yeah. Because we've got to be careful, you know. With what's happening with the world, if someone has your information, it's going to be a real problem. Because right now, you can just go and change your name and get a new passport, right? But when it goes digital, and someone's taken your identity before the digital even takes fucking place, you'll be fucked.
Yep. And I didn't realize that until you said it. That's a fact.
You won't be able to change your name or change your identity. You'll always be linked back to that fingerprint, the passport, and your signature strip. Because it's the red ink. And that's all about sovereign. And this isn't just going for what's yours now. This is going for what's, anytime. So, and the other thing is as well, these guys, if they were serious and they were, really going to be doing things, they would have had a Zoom proper phone call. And you would have seen Mark Steele, and you would have seen Gary Waterman, and you would have seen all these guys saying, hi, we're forming a consortium, a governing body, and we're going to appoint so-and-so as a judge. This one's going to be in charge of this, and we're looking for court marshals to go and attend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you see how I am. Like, I always show my face, whether I video call you guys or I audio call you or something, and you actually get a chance to talk to me, like, on the phone. Whether it's on the WhatsApp or it's on TikTok or it's on my actual house phone, it's like, you actually have the opportunity to speak with me directly. These guys, it's like they just send messages and you don't ever see their face. You don't ever see any videos from them or nothing like that. It's like very discreet. I haven't even seen Ruff's face. Like, I don't even know what Ruff looks like. Or Dan, to be honest with you. I don't know what either one of them actually look like, because for their profile pictures, they just have like animated pictures or something like that. Or at least, well, Ruff does. Dan, it just says the letter D for his name. So I don't even know what these guys actually even look like.
Yeah. Well,
they know what I look like, though, because I have my picture for my profile picture.
Yeah.
They've actually heard my, they know that, like, I'm a real person. Like, they've seen my face. I've done video calls with people. I've done audio calls with people. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, shame, man. Well, that I think also the behavior is that they're just not bothered that I've exposed them either. Anyway, we'll see what happens. What I'm realizing is that all of us targeted individuals are really in danger, and we're all in danger with all the stuff that's happening. Our identity, it's a body snatch, it's an identity snatch, it's a mind snatch, and we need to be real mindful and careful what groups we join and who we associate with and who we believe, and just have to assume that everybody is a target, is a gang stalker. That's what I'm going to do from now on. Just going to assume everyone is a gang stalker until they prove that they are a victim.
Yep. I agree on that one. Like I said, we're having our lives destroyed in every single way possible. We're being tortured nonstop every day. That alone is enough by itself to deal with. Like, we don't need any extra stress or any other problems to be tacked on to what's already been going on for how long now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've come up to nearly an hour, so I'm just going to shut that down and then we'll continue, okay? And I'm going to switch off the recording. So it's Ayesha from God FM with Og, Tyler from TikTok, talking about all the identity theft and the proof. And if you want to find God FM, you can find us on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Chrome, YouTube, Apple, X, TikTok, as well as Telegram as God FM News, God FM New, God FM Radio, and God FM Group. You can email me admin@godfm.org.uk, and you can also WhatsApp me +44 777 35 77788. Have a great day. It's Ayesha and Og Tyler from God FM. All right, take care. Bye bye.